You got my attention, but you won't talk. You stop my ascension, babe, with your evil walk. You confess to your priest, baby. Now confess to me. You make me so damn desperate, babe, but I won't leave.
I'm Adam.
Hello.
I'm joined by Sean Humphries today and nobody else. Oh, wait.
Hey.
There's my show. Look at you, man.
Yeah, how's it going, buddy?
Green screen.
What green screen?
I mean, the bar setting, you just appeared out of nowhere.
Like a ninja.
Gills.
That's how they do it.
He is a
Right?
resident ninja around these
The
parts.
ninjas we just had really good green screen and
Really dumb opponents.
yes.
There's a green sheet flying. That's weird.
Oh, right.
Should we investigate? Nah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's just go about our business, talk about our evil plan, and just move along.
Yeah, move exactly.
Yep. That's how I
Thank you.
remember the movies.
Thank you, 007.
Well, I mean, well, you know what? In a weird way, he's kind of more of a Ronin or a samurai, right? If you were to if you were in the modern world,
Yeah.
you know, I would always consider let's say spies would be ninjas, soldiers would be samurai.
I always thought he was the embodiment of alcoholism.
Pretty much. I mean,
That's not a fighting class, though.
No, but that's the thing about it.
Jackie Chan.
No, the thing about it this way. I mean, he's drunk all the time, right? And in his mind, he's doing amazing things. But through everyone else's eyes, it's exactly the opposite. I mean, who dresses up a woman in gold straight up all the way through?
well, that was the bad guy. But I mean, he's kind of a swashbuckler, though, right? He's like a pirate.
Yeah.
You know, he's drunk and pillaging women and. The pillage literally means to light on fire. So when they say rape and pillage, it's like don't switch the two.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I don't think people.
What if they pillage and rape?
Right.
Well, you have to rape first, then pillage.
Pillage the village.
You can't pillage first because then raping is a lot harder.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be on fire when you're. That's bad when you're raping on fire.
But they're on fire while they're raping.
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
Play on words. I don't stand by them. I just don't understand them.
Just put them together. That's what comedy is. It's like making the words in a certain order and then going, that's the joke and that's it. It's just math and syllables.
Right.
And that's how
Take
comedy.
any group of words, rearrange them in a certain way. You can get a joke out of it, I'm sure, somehow.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yeah. The goal it is joke funny.
Yeah. Isn't that why?
That pretty good. That worked pretty good. Pretty worked. Oh, it's cotton, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I understand completely.
Yeah, right.
Crystal clear. All right. So Sean.
Yes.
We know you from Drumbox.
Yes.
I met you. I think it was after your.
Holy shit!
I was helping run the directing in the back.
That's right. That's right. I'd prepared way too much, and of course, you guys break in as my show is wrapping up, and I'm just sweating from just trying to carry 45 to 50 minutes all by myself on the stage, saying as crazy. I mean, my goal during my show is to say something that nobody has ever said before.
Okay.
Go into as unique territory, usually metaphysical. Yeah.
Definitely.
Rubber
unique.
baby buggy bumpers.
So that's hack.
It's already been said in my show.
Yeah.
By Schwarzenegger.
But it tends to go metaphysical because it's the atheist televangelist. My theory is, if your traditional Christian televangelists can do all the crazy shit they do, an atheist should be able to do be as full of shit as they are, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of what is it, shared time or what equal time?
Oh yeah, yeah. The fairness doctrine, I think, as they call it. Yeah.
What? If you can get up on your soapbox and say your shit, then I can say mine as well.
Yeah.
And who cares? Who's right doesn't matter. It's an equal platform.
Yeah. Well, no, the fairness doctrine was in early television. Every political candidate got equal time on the networks.
Yeah.
That's over now, though. Obviously, there's no fairness doctrine.
Thanks to Twitter.
Yeah. Because people can have as much media time as they want now.
Yeah. The show has evolved quite a bit since the first one. You said you were prepared. I actually enjoyed that whole where you were at the desk and you were preaching and little bits that you were and commercials.
And little commercials, and I had play and roll-in packages and stuff. And what I realized is, and I probably should get back into being a little more prepared. But what I realized is that the effort that I was putting into it wasn't giving me the big bang, like emotionally.
Yes.
That's why I started basically improvising. I'll bring toys to play with or guests or whatever. Because then, to me, now it's about discovery rather than like reiterating. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough because I think there's something very powerful, about having something structured and kind of building on because that's what you guys are doing. You build on the structure, and so then, like you can go a little bit deeper territory every time because you've got that baseline. But for me, it's like I'm reinventing television every single week. I mean, it's fun, and it also puts me in a position of really surprised, like literally not having anything and seeing what happens.
Yeah. I enjoy seeing those moments when I can see whatever's happening is organically just picking up steam until eventually it gets to some crescendo where I think you and BJ were just yelling at each other at some point.
Oh yeah.
It just it started off slow, and I forget who put out the first one, but you guys just like started piggybacking on each other to the point where it just became this other thing. There's like, what is going on?
Yeah,
it's goddamn entertaining.
And it's crazy, and I try not to look at it. I do have a friend, my buddy Tanner, that will occasionally edit together stuff. And I'm sure there's something to be learned if I watched myself and I was like, oh, I should do more of that. But I get just, it's a little bit of like not knowing if anybody's watching, not putting any kind of like pressure on myself of, doing particular bits so that, and also not looking back on it so that I can really be in a pure space. It's weird, but I think like Dronebox lends itself to that.
Absolutely.
Kind of, there's nothing else like this place.
Yeah.
This
being in here, whether I'm in front of the camera, behind the camera, or just even fucking sitting on a chair over there, I just love being in here. It just feels like this is where things happen.
Yeah.
But whether even if things happening here, just in the environment, I get excited.
It's a cabinet of wonders. It's right. Yeah. Look at this. Look at it. I mean. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And the dartboards over here, and the pool table on that side.
Yeah. but it really is this kind of. It's a laboratory. Yeah. It's a artist. You know what I mean? Like studio. It's all.
It's
of
a
those
therapy room too.
Therapy. Oh my God. So much therapy going on here.
So much therapy.
Right. Oh. Chin chin.
Yeah, so when you first came to Dronebox, what was your vision, your goal of what you were trying to create?
So interestingly enough, I came with Frank Tartaglia, and we kind of right around that time we were working a lot with Rick Shapiro.
Okay.
Yeah, and so my goal was always just to get a show up that it can go for an hour. I mean, so we did Rick Shapiro News, which was he would do a monologue, then we get him at the desk and we put him on a news set, and he'd do another rant, then we'd go to another break, and then he'd do another segment, and at the end we'd do sports, and we would get this crazy light that had one of the elements was green.
Okay.
So we'd put the crazy psychedelic set behind him,
interesting.
and then the green light would go, so his face would like blue, yellow, red, then it would hit the green, and the background would go in his face, and he'd be doing these crazy rants directly at camera. And like, so when we were creating that stuff, I was like, oh, this is so far off of whatever creative landscape I've ever been on that I want to keep doing it. And then when Nolan gave me my own slot, I ended up, all I had was Atheist Televangelist. That's it. Did it as a news show originally. Now it's become some kind of, I would consider it avant-garde television.
Very freeform.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, right. See, like avant-garde television. Exactly. This is, I mean, an element of it right there. I don't know. I can't even see what it looks like, but I have a good imagination.
Yeah.
So.
For those of you who listen to this podcast later, Maestro is messing with the green screen as per usual. Another reason to watch the live broadcast on drumbox.com on Fridays at 10 p.m. following
Atheist Televangelist. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see something super crazy, tune in at 9 o'clock. You know, it's actually really nice having you guys showing up every week. I mean, it's a familiar thing, but it also, again, because you guys are so warm and you're so nice and you're doing your thing here, it makes me feel like I don't want to say not being judged, but I can do my thing without being like, shame when you walk in, you know what I mean? Because
Shame.
Yeah, right? Shame. Because I think that this space is, the space is so liberating, you know?
Yeah.
But you guys should try, you guys shot a movie here, right? And you do...
We've tried a bunch of interesting things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you were saying about earlier, as far as putting all the effort in and to get the bang out of it, that's kind of how I started feeling about some of the stuff we were doing. We were too prepared, where we had scripts, we were getting costumes, and it was fun, but then once we were done, I just don't have the same feeling as just sitting and talking and having a conversation where we discover things about ourselves or each other.
Yeah.
Just have a lot of laughs.
Wait, no pressure.
Are you talking about self-discovery?
Yeah.
Our pants stay on, by the way.
I mean, somebody's pants are still on. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, so there's a table here, so you can't see that we're all actually pantsless.
The first time
Just like at my graduation.
I tell you, the first time I went to ABC Studios, it's the black broadcaster Jim. I want to say Jim Brown, but he had a beautiful blazer, tie, shirt. But then when he was just wearing some crappy jeans, and I was like, oh my God, my illusion is totally destroyed.
Yeah.
But then I realized probably everybody, if you only dress to what's going to be
On the screen.
on screen.
Yeah. It helps that most of the things we have to do here are barefoot. So
Yeah.
you cut off the feet in most cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in an interview I had with Nolan about a year ago, he said this is the Socks Network. We should get sponsored by some sort of sock company.
Seriously, like a Mac Weldon or yeah.
I was going to say Fruit of the Loom even, but that's better.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. Like I'm also like think a lot about how to make money at all this.
Yeah.
Because you talk about like props and scripts and all this stuff. I mean, one of the reasons I think why people do all of that is because they have corporate. They're being corporately supported by networks and studios, and they have advertisers. And of course, then now podcasts are taking off a little bit. There's some advertising in that. But how do we get people to,
I just think about renting the space out to people.
Yeah.
But it's hard to sell this without standing here.
Yeah.
If somebody walks through the door, they'll be like, fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But you just tell somebody, I got a 3-foot green screen, we got a kitchen, and we got a stage. And they're like, oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
And then they get here and like, oh, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you think about it, this is like whatever. I'll say like $5,000 of production.
Okay.
An hour here. Like if you were like the 3 cameras, the green screen, the lights, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
If you had to rent it, that's. I mean, maybe $5,000 a day, but still, that's yeah.
There's a lot of really cool things happening here, and this is something I don't know if you have experienced this yet. I have people that I want to do things with me. They get here, they see it, and
Legally.
like,
Legally.
Yeah, right. Legally.
Yes.
No, I agree. You guys grew up around here, right?
Yeah,
So
about us.
yeah, but I mean, like being near television or media town. Like I had friends that were vaguely in the industry growing up, but then once you kind of like, start seeing exactly how everything's made, it's like the fact that they're giving us all these toys to play with is like,
Yeah.
At first, when I started coming here, I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I want to keep it my secret. Now I'm like you're saying, you bring people here and they don't even know. They don't even put together how wonderful this place is.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking.
It's very confusing to me that people don't want to be here as often as they can.
Yeah.
But then that's just how I feel. So
I mean,
I'm obviously biased.
Yeah, but also there was a time where I was here all of the time,
Okay.
doing the Rick stuff, and it does become this, and I'm sure Nolan and Lewis experience it, it becomes this weird space where like you can't tell if it's night or day anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
It's Vegas.
Yeah, it is. It has a Vegas vibe to
Absolutely.
it. And then, of course, there's also the constant parade of freaks and weirdos that are coming in here.
It's a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. For me, oddly enough, you guys give this place a little bit of legitimacy. You're always prepared. You have a plan. You're pretty consistent. You also
try.
you put this out into other media. Like Norm, he puts this stuff on YouTube. I should probably move my stuff to YouTube at some
It's quite
point.
an undertaking.
Yeah.
To do all the post-production stuff, it's like I said, without it being backed by somebody that is going to be doing all this stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 9-to-5 job that I do graphic design during the day, and then I have a podcast. I do this, and then all the behind-the-scenes stuff and the prep for it as well.
Sorry.
It's a lot of damn work.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the tough part. Like my
be right
fantasy, my fantasy about this place would be like that if they could just have it full-time staffed. But I mean, obviously Lewis is trying to figure out a way to take the staffing out of it. But where it's almost like a plug and play, and you can just take a television show with you at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, during the last show that we aired here, it was kind of our 2-year celebration. I had plugged in my iPad into the control room, so I was able to control it from here. So we were walking around the entire studio, and I was controlling the cameras, and it was a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
I was too fixated on the power in my fingertips.
That's why you need but that's why you need all the people making television.
Absolutely.
I think that's where you can get the real power of a performer too. Like if they don't have to worry about anything else except their performance, then they can go to the fucking moon,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think is really exciting. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, that was another thing I was talking to Judd about on one of the shows. I was a guest on his show, and that was an experience that I wasn't too used to, because usually I'm the one driving the show. So to be able to just sit there and have him run the show, it's just kind of like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
I get to focus on trying to be funny instead of what time is it, what camera is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
Probably that was in the microphone. What's going on here?
So it's so funny because I think I was on Busted the other day, and we were talking about
Scott Schultz.
with Scott Schultz, yeah, and we were talking about the MTA thing, and I will talk as much as anybody. I just have a feeling something's going to happen over here.
I should have got something up the sleeve.
What sleeve? He doesn't even have an arm. But I kind of like knee-jerk started moderating, because that's who I am. And he comes over and he whispers to me, "Hey, let me moderate my own show, okay?"
Yeah, Scott's got, Buster's going to show you $100, which is interesting. Oh my
That's
god.
gruesome. That is like so.
It's very interesting. It's got a baby head.
I wonder if it's got a. I mean, look, it's got almost adult hands though. No.
Oh, okay.
It's like having my own weapons turned against me. But so yeah, it's hard for me to not want to just run the table.
Yeah. It's a little tough, but it's a little freeing also to just not have to think about everything all the time. I think that's one of the things that I enjoy most about your show. It seems like you're just doing it. I don't feel like you're tied down by thinking about what's going to happen next.
Well, and I am also trying to go into this. I'll just say, like, if I'm feeling uncomfortable or fearful about a thing, I want to say it. Like, I tend to go a lot. I mean, like, I'll just say blasphemy, right? Okay. Because it's since I'm dealing with religion. I want to try to say the most out there thing, partially because I think that that baby's gonna get fucked up. Partially because I think that we don't even know what our limits are.
Okay.
Right? We grow up in this culture where, I mean, I'm just gonna assume that you guys were raised mostly Catholic, right?
Christian.
Christian, like just like a whatever, like Pentecostal or non-denominational.
At the time, I didn't know there was different versions of Christianity.
Yeah.
It was just straight Christian.
Yeah.
Missionary trips, carrying flags around at worship.
What? Even flags?
Yeah.
Yeah, onward Christian soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was voted most spiritual in my class in 8th grade.
You know what? I can see it. You know what you do? You give off a very peaceful sense.
I try.
Until you get angry and then basically don't stand in your way.
Right?
Well, and a lot of it is because of that. I did have more anger issues in earlier years than I do now.
Hey, we had testosterone raging through our bodies. It's no wonder. Like, I got in so much trouble. I'm like, I'm going to blame that hormone. I mean, but I will say, like, I think that the reason there's so many young men in prison is because we don't know how to deal with testosterone in our culture. You know, what do? We could be super hyper Christian and just get super into church and like push down all your desires, right?
That was interesting. At the time, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And, once I hit high school, it kind of the whole curtain fell, and I could see the Wizard of Oz back there, and there was a lot of like, what is happening?
Yeah, it did fall probably while you were in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we don't even know kind of like the cultural or the things that we've been like. I still like to think in terms of like, I think the message of Jesus is amazing, right?
Yes.
Good guy. I mean, you get somebody like Gandhi who said, oh, I loved what Jesus had to say. Then you have Martin Luther King who's like, oh, I love what Gandhi and Jesus had to say. And then we don't have those leaders so much anymore. But so what I'm saying is, like, there's something there's something good inside of that, but I think that everything else that it's doing is holding us back from what we could be, you know?
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to like kind of have a moral compass set up, but not to lead your entire life. Like, be a good person. I mean, everybody should be as good a person as you can try to be.
I feel like this country is like really covered by metaphorical hairpiece.
Hairpiece? You have hairpiece?
The baby it's better than like the baby plug hair things, man.
God, it's almost like day one his hair went completely white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, because he forgot that the wind swept off all the hair dye and all the like fake tan.
I think it was a shipping problem. It was his new ones didn't come in yet, so he had to go to an older one.
Oh man!
I did see his hair go one direction while he went the other, though. That was interesting.
I feel like he'd be against One Direction.
I was trying to figure out the One Direction joke in there. He wants to go in the nude direction. Nude erection. No, never mind. That's one of my favorite,
Nude erection.
Yeah, nude erection.
Oh, see, I was talking about the band.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring nude erections into my.
Yeah, he's got to say something weird like that every night at least once.
Single time. but so then I think in terms, like, it's nice to have a Christian background. It's great. Yeah. I'll usually tell if I hang out with somebody, if I could find out that they were raised Christian, it's like, oh, I can probably trust this person. Okay. Just like it's just a thing. But then otherwise, the way in which, especially the culture battles between Islam and Christianity, we're in a place now where those powerful forces are keeping us from being able to develop technologically and scientifically, and it's that to me is the scariest part about it. Like, whatever people shooting each other, my God's bigger than yours, but the way that it is limiting everybody else's progress, that's the thing that just drives me crazy.
Yeah, you had mentioned earlier that we don't know where the boundaries are.
Yeah,
but I feel it's more that we're being told what the boundaries are, and it's much smaller than they should be.
Yeah.
The boundaries that were being put on us are so small to what they actually should be if people just got over themselves a little bit.
Well, and accepted themselves. And I think I have a big problem with, let's say, corporate media. That's ABC, NBC, CBS, all this stuff, where they want the human experience to fall into this very limited paradigm, right? I mean, one of the things that's great about this place is you can say whatever you want. There's no censorship. I mean, Kenny Lyons gets naked on the stage all the time and touches tranny parts, and you know what I mean? So this is a place where, yes, then you can go to some place like an HBO and they are doing a very particular type of salacious representation to get you to be like, tuning in. Yeah, exactly. To be like, I want to watch Khaleesi get, raped or what. I don't know what's going on, but you know what I mean? So no, but I'm saying that, but they're basically selling subscriptions on that idea. So they're saying, and I'm not saying they're saying it's okay, but they're saying that this corporate idea that we've created, you can accept it because, it's a story. But it really is a way of limiting human capacity and capability.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. And this Sunday I think is a new one coming out. But I was rewatching it again, and what is occurring to me now, and this is also happening with all the other shows like Flash and Gotham, Batman. These are all just basically soap operas.
Yes.
At the very core of it, it's this is about to happen. Oh no, that's not going to work out that way. Oh no, how are we going to cope with this? But now you're injecting dragons, dragons and zombies, and
it's tough because if you've got something, let's say like a Tim and Eric, or I mean even a Rick and Morty, who are using. They're telling a different kind of story because they're not relying on that soapy kind of over-emotional kind of twee emo sensibility.
Drama for the sake of drama.
Drama for the sake of drama. And again, this is corporate. This is like, if it doesn't fit into this box and people can't understand it, and then if people aren't going to drink their, Glenlivet, or you know what I mean? We had to make it appeal in this certain way, and we can't challenge people's preconceptions. We can't. I'll say this: when have you seen a character on television, except for maybe HBO, that was a religious fanatic? Nowhere. They have fucking taken any kind of spirituality out of corporate entertainment almost 100%.
Wait. Actually, like a hero or a villain?
No, I'm saying like anybody who has like a spirituality to them, like that their faith is important to them. I mean, you got it on The Leftovers, right?
There was one guy in Walking Dead that was a priest. He ended up being all kinds of weird.
Yeah, but that's the tendency. They don't tend to have people of faith that are like good people. And it's like, his faith is, something else.
Well, to be fair, zombie apocalypse, I'm going to question my faith as well.
Yeah, sure. But I would say this. I would say that's the Bible come to fucking life. People should be like, holy shit, this book is real. That's what I would do if there was a zombie apocalypse. I was like, it's in Revelations. I mean, Jesus was a zombie. I mean, right? So it's like. And I would say in those situations, that's when people do go crazy for their faith. And again, I only come at this from the idea because it's one of these things that's eradicated from the experience.
Right.
Because I think sponsors don't want you to be thinking about Jesus when you're eating their crappy food or whatever.
Right. Not to mention, if Jesus is going to sponsor your network, the whole network has to then change. You can't have a Jesus commercial at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then at midnight have the Sex Rompers Part 3.
Unless you do the Adult Swim model.
Or Backdoor Sluts 9.
Yeah. Well, no, which is the Adult Swim model, right? You have children's cartoons up until a certain point, then it's like fucking any kind of weird, psychedelic, freaked out garbage after when it's the Adult Swim block.
Yeah, but if there was any kind of religious promotion during the day on the kids programming, that company would be up in arms saying like, hey, this same channel that we're sponsoring puts this filth on later at night.
Or they're selling beer or whatever, whatever it is,
the religious nut jobs just go crazy and tear down anything that is anti what they want to have happen. It's very upsetting.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Then, I'm not that I would ever promote anything like that, but then we have this very limited view. Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is probably the spiritual people were the ones who shaped the content of ABC, NBC, CBS during the 60s and 70s. You know what I mean? It's like, we can't
all three of those channels.
Right. Yeah, we have the Ricky and Lucy separate
beds
when they're sleeping because we can't promote that they're actually having sex.
Yeah.
I always wondered what was up about that. That was just weird.
That was just the standards at the time. Advertisers did not want to have a couple in the same bed. It's not
It's
wholesome.
indecent somehow, even though they're married and have a child, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Well, it was made by Immaculate Conception. Come on. Lucy, she just sat on the toilet one time and she's like, oh my God, there's a baby in
The
me.
little kid play the bongos, that's from God.
That is true. And they were Cuban. And they didn't talk about fucking Jesus at all? I mean, come on! That's fucking bullshit.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would imagine in some of his Mexican rantings or Cuban rantings.
Mios Dios or whatever. Yeah.
Mío and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Nope.
Yeah. There's gotta be some like
That's
Mother Marys in there. What do you call it? What is it?
Yeah, Hail Marys.
Hail Marys,
Yeah. I'm just using religion as an example, but also I was listening to a podcast today where they said, it's a screenwriting podcast, and he said, do you ever hear of anything like blowjobs or hand jobs, and even HBO or whatever these shows?
Yes.
Very rarely, though.
Game of
It's
Thrones,
usually
there's a lot of it. There's a lot of blowjob talking.
showing or talking about it.
usually showing it, like how do you act? I mean, because most of the time people just have regular penetrative sex or whatever.
Yeah.
If they're having sex on HBO or whatever. Except at Deadwood, lots of blowjobs, but that's it. I gotta clear my mind. That's one of Swearengen's.
I wanted to get into that show, but I feel like
Why? Because of blowjobs?
No.
Well,
That was a big contributing factor, but not the main one.
All right.
I didn't start because
You couldn't
the way it
finish?
ended is gonna not work for me.
it's tough. I would say it has a pretty. I think the ending worked, even though it was rushed. I mean, I was watching it as it was coming out. But it has a powerful ending. If you were to watch, it's only 3 seasons, I think. If you were to watch it, the ending feels very satisfying.
Oh, there was an actual ending? I thought
Yeah.
that was like cut off before they got to make the final episode.
Well,
So you're trying to tell me this show has a lot of foreplay. Everyone gets head.
Lots
and,
of-
and it finishes off really nice and makes you feel like you're satisfied.
yeah, yeah.
And you don't have to lift your hand once.
I mean, you should do this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just keep flipping that. Just flipping that button. I don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah, you know, it's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite shows is I like a period piece that will deal with, or like a genre, sci-fi or whatever, that deals with kind of modern problems. And I think Deadwood does. I mean,
And like Star Trek in the 70s did.
Star Trek's in the 70s, seriously. Like, there's a lot of social issues that you can do on genre stuff that you can't necessarily get away with. I mean, like, I can't watch these superhero, The Flash and Green Arrow and all that, because I feel like the stakes are off for me.
Okay.
The guy who is named as the main character is never going to really die.
Right.
You know? And part of the reason like he's never going to die is because he's superhuman. You know? And so it's like it just puts the stakes like you know that Al Swearingen and whoever on Deadwood were probably going to be in the next episode, but you had the sense that at any moment something terrible could happen to them.
Okay.
You know? And I think and that's one of the reasons I don't like superhero genre in general anymore.
Because you know they'll survive.
Because you know they'll survive. And even and I think, you know, like, do you guys ever read Alpha Flight? Do you remember that?
No.
So,
That sounds familiar.
so Project X was where Wolverine's
Yeah.
from, right?
Right.
That was originally a Canadian government project. It gave birth to Alpha Flight. They had, yeah. So they had a 5 or 6 year run. And it was, you know, whatever. They had Guardian. He had Tony. It was basically Iron Man armor that had a Canadian flag on it. There was a guy named Puck. There's a guy named Puck who was a little midget Quebecois. He had the bad accent. There was a Yeti. You know, there were these twins. But at the end of the first year, they said one of them will die. One of them will die. They fucking killed the leader.
Nice.
And it was powerful, and it was like they built it up and they made it work. And it's like Tony Stark can never die, Bruce Wayne can never die. You know, like these guys.
That's the thing about it, though. They are going to die.
Yeah, but not on film.
That's true.
We're not going to show them dying.
That was actually, I don't know, maybe was it 15 years ago, the death of Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought him back though.
Yeah, but they brought him back.
Yeah.
But at least they did the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a great series of books that led up to it, you know?
Okay.
They were really powerful.
Yeah, I agree, and I did kind of, I was really into the superhero TV shows for a while, but I built on them within the last year. It just got a little too crazy, and the soap opera had just come to the forefront too much for me. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I want to watch a soap opera like that, I might as well watch Teen Wolf.
Right?
That's still happening, right?
You do watch Teen Wolf.
I used to watch Teen Wolf.
Come on.
It's over.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
done.
yeah,
Yeah, it's done.
He likes a lot of weird things to watch, like the B movie type of feel.
Oh, sure. I love some B movie. But I mean, of course, they got all the fucking Hodorowski, and I mean, they're all into so many weird things here. Yeah, it's because these are this is corporate art, you know, television, movies. It's gonna be such. Crispin Glover, right? You know, from American Gods, right? He was George
Neil
McFly.
Gaiman.
Yeah, I was gonna say McFly.
Yeah. He has this thing. He says, like, you know, because Steven Spielberg is the, you know, kind of the high watermark of cinema, he has this real kind of adolescent view of how humans should interact with each other. And none of his characters have any sex in any of their movies.
Oh.
Right? Like, Spielberg's characters are very sexless. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
And so now this guy that's leading our culture on some level, he's creating us sexless, you know, heroes that...
Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Yes. So basically, in that.
Well, in the proper timeline or like
Yes,
release date.
proper timeline. Right.
Because it was Raiders,
Temple,
but then Temple was like previous to.
Yeah.
And then Last Crusade.
which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in Raiders of the Lost Ark, he met Marion Ravenwood,
Right.
and they get together and have some sort of fun, but it's implied, not showed.
Yes.
And in the fourth movie, they find out.
I'm
Spoiling
sorry, I
alert!
don't
There's a kid.
recognize the fourth movie.
Crystal Skull.
Crystal
I
Skull.
don't recognize.
I see. I've never seen it, but I want to. I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I?
no, I don't care. I mean, here's the thing. Here's my guys. I'm going to tell you my spoiler rule.
Okay.
I think it applies across the board.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the thing that's going to be spoiled within 6 weeks of its release, get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to not spoil, because if you don't have the passion to go to the thing within 6 weeks,
Yeah.
why should I be responsible for your inability to get over? 6 weeks is plenty of time to find a way to watch a thing.
Yeah.
So is this a magical number, or could it be like 6 or 8 or 7?
Well, I say 6 weeks because I feel like a month and a half is enough time
Okay.
to be like,
Yeah.
you could get out of any whatever weird cycle that you're in a month and a half. I mean, maybe it's 3 months, but I say 6 weeks
I
because,
think the internet rule is 2 weeks.
is it?
But I like 6 weeks better because 2
Why?
weeks things can happen in,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If it's been 6 weeks, and yes, it wasn't that important to you.
Yeah. And so then why do you care if somebody spoils it?
Seriously, I mean, like, what happens if you realize for the majority of your life that you didn't know that your computer could do porn? So you spend an entire week or two, in there, realizing that there's porn on your computer at your fingertips.
Yeah.
On all computers?
I mean, I probably.
And then coming out with an extra long stronger hand or something like that.
Popeye.
Yeah, and then you realize that you missed several movies in the process. And people, I mean, that makes
But
sense.
2 weeks, yeah. But the 6 weeks, you should.
Yeah.
You're going to be so spent at that point that you can
Yeah.
get out of the house.
There's only so much a hand can do.
So tell me. So spoil Crystal Skulls.
In Crystal Skulls, the spoiler is about the fact that Ravenwood and Indiana Jones have a kid together.
Yeah.
And that's implied from the time they were together in the Raiders of the Lost Ark over on the ship.
Yeah.
Right. Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very. I mean, it's a very sexless, even though he's Jewish, it's kind of an immaculate conception.
Okay.
You know, you know what I mean. Also that the other thing is nobody has any real drug or alcohol or gambling. It's nobody, your bad guys are, the worst thing about them is they're going to have a weird accent, Mr. Jones. I don't know, or
They
whatever.
burn books and torture
Maybe a
people.
cigarette at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, So the script notes, this podcast I was listening to today, they said the power dynamic in a blowjob on screen is your bad guy or your whatever guy is receiving the blowjob, and the person that's going down on them is usually the good person. And I was like, I can agree with that. It's really a good person that gives you blowjobs. They're the best people on the planet. They really are, guys.
They'll take your wallet.
I mean, everything is beautiful. Everything in that moment is beautiful. You are communing with another person through their mouth.
It's type of communication.
Yeah. I mean, I would say jizz, could the DNA, the genome that is in jizz, is probably the most dense information of anything on the planet. Right? Because you've got millions and millions of haploid genes that are billions of them that are in there that you could create millions of variations of yourself through that. You know.
So in a weird way, you're sharing with this person more
Half
than
of
you share with somebody you actually talk to.
Yeah.
Over the course of many years.
Many years. You could
In a matter of seconds.
Exactly. I just downloaded my whole library. Because I also imagine well, in the future, will there be jizz computers where they encode your jizz with data, right? Because it can hold so much data.
Yeah.
I think so.
Imagine it goes in a cup, the cup goes in the computer, you type in the things, and then
It encodes it.
shoots lasers into the
right.
and deletes the things you don't want, and then it goes on to the next place.
And then the way you then you take the little cup and you pour it, and it goes gulp. Data received. I don't know why it had to be a goofy voice. Ooh, thank you.
That's just what it's going.
Yeah, right.
Going that way.
Oh my God.
Everything talks to you now.
You're right.
No, but why not that?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my.
It's like you imagine if it was basically before the process, it's Mickey Mouse. After the process, it's Goofy.
Ooh, deleted too many of the wrong things.
Oh, I'm getting stupider. Yeah.
But I know Japan actually has a machine that you can actually walk up to, and it gives you a direct blowjob.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know.
You can hook up that machine to another machine across the world.
Yes.
And have them synced up to each other.
Yes.
So that you can be sticking it in here and it being sticking out over here.
Yes.
So I mean,
It's like a portal.
Yeah, right. It is that Star Trek where they jump through the archway and they go to
Stargate.
Yeah, Stargate. It's a Stargate, exactly. It's a dick gate. I mean, I will say I think the fall of civilization will be when there's a super low-cost robo blowjob. Like when you get that, it's a robo blowjob that's $20 and you can just buy it and have it in your house. That's when everything's going to come to a standstill.
It's gonna be coming from Starbucks.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even think it's going to be like a robot. It's just going to be like an adapter, just a box that you just sit on your lap while having VR goggles on.
Yeah.
It's already here.
I feel like we're way too close to that already.
That's already here.
And so all scientific process breaks. Because all of those kids that would be developing, they're just like, I'm just going to put on my robo box.
Yeah, I don't need the house. Just hop on the Facebook. That's your interaction with the people.
Yeah.
And then don't have to leave. Don't have to change.
Yeah, exactly.
Shower. The box doesn't care if I smell.
Right. Sometimes when the box smells, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know.
I feel like a society will either go to Demolition Man or Idiocracy. One of the two.
I think we'll head toward Demolition Man before Idiocracy.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
As much as I feel like we are already Idiocracy, there's too many of the powers that be that
in control so now it makes me think that I want to hybrid those two movies.
Okay.
Yeah. God, I'm gonna have to watch Demolition Man again.
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a movie, I have so many in my head, but I want to do basically the story of Terminator, but instead of him killing Sarah Connor, he needs to knock her up. So it's called
the Sexinator.
No, the Inseminator. Whatever. So and what it would be is it'd be a soldier from the future and a robot from the future, and it'd just be a rom-com of her dating these two different guys.
Yeah, have him join from the Navy.
Yeah.
So he can be a seaman.
He's a seaman from the future.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Seaman inseminator. Yeah.
But then, like the robots like following all the rules and bringing flowers, and the other guy's like got PTSD and he's like an artist and he's really troubled, and she's like, oh, you've got the personality, but he's got Arnold's body. You know what I mean? It's like,
And his name is Richard.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I want to shoot that movie so bad.
That would be interesting.
Right? Because it's basically a rom-com with a robot and a soldier from the future.
Maybe.
Maybe you make it a series. You have different robots coming in. Like that one didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
New person, new personality.
Yeah.
This one's a punker. This guy's a scientist. This guy's a biker.
And the way he gets stopped, is because he gets caught in a net.
Seaman gets caught in a net.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the way I imagine the story is like this is some bioengineered robots that then give like it's a half robot, half human baby if she gets pregnant. That then becomes the leader of the robot revolution. But if she gets knocked up by the soldier, then he becomes the leader of anti-robot revolution. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So basically, she is the ark.
The vessel. Yes.
The vessel.
Yeah.
Your cuppeth overflow.
Right with
Gold.
I mean, well, thank you. Oh, I'm going to the future now. Oh my God, goofy time traveling. Where are we at? Oh my God, it's Blade Runner land.
Run.
Oh my God. And I feel like maybe the soldier has he's got messed up jizz. You know, like he's got low motility or something like that.
Because of time traveling.
Yeah, exactly. This is with the sack or something. I don't know. Because then the robot could be just can't do it, can't close the deal because he's a robot. Right. And the other guy can't actually knock her up because he's got faulty jizz.
I would watch that.
Right? That sounds like fun, right?
Yeah. Maybe we can do that here at Drone. Maybe.
Yeah, right? I mean, I still think that we should get an all studio something event going on. I want it to be a musical live musical.
Okay.
Oh,
right?
that's gonna be a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work, but if we got everybody involved, whatever. So how many sets do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then as many as this one, right?
Yeah.
So you go so you just write it to this place. What I want it to be is it came from behind Uranus. And
it came from behind.
And it's basically like a 50s kind of alien invasion movie, but the aliens are
dimensional portals throughout Uranus?
No, but they're spraying a radioactive ray that turns everyone gay.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So
the musical.
Yeah, that's the musical exactly. And it's all like they're hiding their ship behind Uranus, right? Because it came from behind Uranus, and they're all cats. All the aliens are cats, and they're like, oh, we've got the, because then now they'll have twice as many owners.
Yeah, I can't see everybody getting behind that idea.
Yeah, I know, it's tough. But imagine everybody. I mean, if everybody had a number they could sing,
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Because
would you?
There's so many shows. Here,
yeah.
But we're all like ships passing through the night.
Yes.
Like I see you all the time.
Yeah.
Because you're before me.
Yeah.
Like Judd's been here for about a year. I've seen him I think twice.
Yeah. You do it as a live Drone Box event, like a Friday night from 10 to midnight, and then you put commercial breaks in to move sets or costumes or whatever, and you just run it like fucking Hair or whatever they did. We'd have a couple rehearsals and. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
Everybody's too stoned here to actually like.
I was gonna say that, but as far as motivated people to do things, it's. I'd be down.
Yeah, and I don't.
We start our own little thing and start talking to people outside.
Well, that's why I mentioned. And it doesn't have to be that story. I'm just saying that because it'd be fun and stupid, and you wouldn't have to really put that much pressure into because really what it'd be like two couples are out at inspiration point making out. Then the Ray turns them gay and they make out with the wrong people. And then the military is like, all of our soldiers are turning gay. What's causing it, right? So you have the military scene, and then you have a scene of the aliens going, oh, yes, we're doing it. We're finally doing it. Then you have a big dance number at the end of the movie where it's the aliens and the military and all the gay people. You know?
Okay.
I don't know. That's, to me, it writes itself.
It sounds like a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun to shoot for sure.
The real question is how you get the cast to do it.
Well, I mean, if they're actors, if they're performers,
Oh,
you
that's a
know,
good point.
Yeah, they should be willing to do just about anything. You got a bedroom up there, you got another bedroom over there. You could have like the sock hop scene where everybody is like, you know, I put a little bit of whiskey in the punch, and then the Ray hits the party, and everybody's like switches partners right in the middle of it, and like, wait. This is feeling weird, but you know,
it'd be the dance where it's like the do-si-do or something. And
yeah.
then instead of like the Ray hits, and instead of going to the next female partner, you go to the next male partner.
Yeah. I yeah. I mean, you know, whatever. It's silly. Because I also think that the best way, if you were like the Hitler of the modern world, the best thing you could do is put a drug in the water that would turn everyone gay. Because then they'd be disinclined to fight. They would not be able to make any more babies. So eventually all the real estate would go to Saudi investors. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you have low population growth in an area, it's easy.
But if you think about it this way also, they have so much more time because now they're not forced to deal with the stigma.
Yeah.
So they have a lot more freedom to do what they want to do.
Yes.
And also pursue what they want to do.
Yes.
And since there are a lot of times, it's not, I'm not sure if it's true, but there is a considerable amount of theory that there is a detail orientation towards detail. And
you can say it, dude. It's fine.
Being persnickety, anal.
Yes. Yeah. That it's possible that they actually might do better.
Well, I think in cultures where, I mean, you know, whatever, where there's like universal kind of suffrage, I think, as my friend Peter used to say, the gay function in a heteronormative culture is like, oh, you need hairdressers. You know what I mean? You want to look good for your date, you got to go talk to your gay friend or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's a way in which they kind of can support, you know. But you know, if the whole world was gay and nobody had the pressure of having to fucking raise children or whatever anymore, or try to impress a gender that is. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus because they got so much is estrogen. That's it. And we have so much testosterone. It's like, we like sticking our finger in things. And they're like, hey, I want to be romanced. So it's like we have but if everybody was gay, then guys could be like, I want to stick my thing in your thing. And you'd be like, yeah, stick your thing in my thing. I'm good. You know, like, I don't know how it would work. And then it would be just like, you know, like lesbian farmers all over the place.
That is interesting. Because what if the heterosexual person turns gay but still acts heterosexual?
Yeah, right?
What I think would be great is this magic drug. It turns everybody gay.
Yeah.
If you were already gay, it turns you straight.
So then 10% of the population would come back to the fold, honey.
Yeah, no, then there'd be 10% people that are in the closet straights.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole switch of dynamic, and then the world still gets better, but population can still keep producing at the same time.
Go on.
That would be an interesting experiment, just to have the roles reversed completely.
So I stole that from another script that I wrote, where basically the bad guy is developing we're at war with the Chinese, and the kind of the leader of the military is developing a drug that turns specifically Chinese people gay. Okay. So that he can then, like, they're going to be less interested in war. Trust me. You know, they don't want to fight. You know. Because there's too much.
A chink in their armor.
Okay, Mr. Lin, Justin Lin.
No?
Right?
Too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was a whole new story.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say, I mean, you can say it. I can't say it. This white face cannot say that.
I got an Asian friend.
But he just said he went too far.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Remember when it was okay to be casually racist?
Seriously, right?
Just made life so much easier. Casually homophobic, sexist.
Anything you do casually, I think is fine.
Yeah, right. Casual sex.
Yeah.
Casual homo sex. I don't know.
Yeah,
Casual is fine.
If you're being angry about it, that's a different thing.
Right.
But or doing sex as well.
White privilege. I don't know where I'm going with that. I love it. Yeah, isn't that great?
Yes.
I feel like if I was going to make a religious symbol, it would be that, and then you could have like little like necklaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
The hand of the cult of the
Pretty
baby
cool.
head. Yeah.
High five?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I ever were to go like on tour, I would just buy a bunch of baby heads and hands and just like put a little wire there and be like, $500. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's an art piece.
Yeah, right.
I got a friend of mine has a bunch of those hands also. That actually I found one in my house the other day.
That's creepy.
Yeah,
That's
it lost its pair. There's like 5 of them that she puts on her fingers. And just
It's a lot of work. I tried putting the 5 on my, and it's just like, oh. It's like having a little hand at the end of your finger.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, tell me more.
I think actually he's got a little sucker mouth. I think you could fit a finger in his mouth.
oh my.
Yeah. Kind of gruesome, huh?
You enjoying the show, everybody?
We've gone a lot of play. I mean, that's again, you kind of. I mean, you know what you're getting into. You see the last 10 minutes of my show
Yeah.
every week. It's.
Well, that's why this show is called Random Acts of Tangent.
Yeah.
So it's just we have no real set place to get to.
Good.
We sit down, we are having drinks at the bar, and wherever things go.
Things pop up.
Yeah, I've been having this fantasy of an all drum box show, you know. And then there's that that band, with Dougie. What the fuck is the name of his band? But they play here a lot. I was like, they could just be the music. They could be the musicians.
Okay.
And just play live for 2 hours or whatever. You know, build the songs around that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They had a thing here for I think Halloween last year, where it was a bunch of people coming together, but I missed it. I don't know.
It's just my fantasy. I don't see again like unless there's money behind anything here, it's hard to really motivate people. You know.
Yeah, it is. But it's kind of I understand it, but at the same time, I mean we've been doing the podcast for over 7 years now, not making anything off of it. Basically, it's just because it's fun, and being here is just fun. We're not getting paid for this, not yet, unless you have sponsorships you want to give.
I mean, do you guys got a Patreon?
Yeah. The what?
A Patreon?
Well, I don't know.
A patriarch?
No, Patreon. It's a so what it is it's like a subscription kind of Indiegogo or something, you know. So what it would be is you guys would sign up for your Patreon account, and any of your viewers could then be subscribers to your Patreon, and they take a little bit of it. But let's say if you got like people that are like committing to $20 a month or $10 or $5 a month, it would just go automatically through Patreon as I mean that's
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously there's the like Amazon affiliate program
That we have.
yeah. That's a tough one because people have to actually do work. But this, you set up the Patreon, and you know if you get people that are $5 a month, you get 10 or 15, 20 of those people, and they're you know. There's got to be a way of making money on this shit.
Yeah, I hope so. Eventually,
Yeah.
I just keep thinking the model that has worked for other podcasters is you first build your base, and then at that point start bringing on sponsors.
Yeah.
So we're in the building base phase for the past 7 years.
All your base belongs to us.
But
I mean,
I don't know.
let me ask you this. I mean, this is going to sound a little weird, but have you ever thought of maybe speaking from a non-pop culture, like either Latino or Asian perspective? Only because now, like, non-white representation in the media is so big.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you know, you may not have had a typical Latin American experience, but
Pretty whitewashed.
But still being able to speak from that perspective, I think, is a powerful perspective. Speak from because I think what ends up happening is we have this kind of, again, this corporate box that everybody's like, well, if you're Margaret Cho, you can only do these kind of jokes.
Okay.
But
like being typecasted.
be typecast. But I think, I mean, I'm trying to make my experience, having been raised as a child of the 70s and drug addict, I'm trying to be like, this is who I am. If you could speak on that, and I don't know, maybe I'm only saying that because fucking podcasting is so goddamn white. It is the straightest, whitest, malest thing out there in the fucking world. And if there's any way of like inserting the flavor of who you are, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just referencing because we're all guys right here.
Yeah, and we're all straight. And it's, but here's the thing, when you're straight, dude, you got to get your message out there so you can get the bitches. You know what I'm saying, guys? Right? Get all the bitches. But I think there is something in it, like, this is going to sound weird. The reason I think that white people do everything or destroy everything or whatever, it's because we're Vikings. We were in the north, we were in the Arctic Circle, and we're like, fuck this shit, it's cold and I'm hungry. And so at some point we decided to take over the rest of the world. You know, equatorial cultures or cultures that have a lot of like agricultural kind of stuff, the Chinese are warlike because there's so goddamn many of them.
Yeah.
But otherwise, most places that have abundance don't have to fight that much. You don't think you don't hear people in like Central America being unless you have outside pressures.
Well, there's a lot of infighting though. In places.
Yeah, because
they're fighting each other.
Because of population pressure. But I would say like it really is this. There's something psychotic about the people from the Arctic Circle and I think it has to do like the whiteness and the kind of like, you know, having gone so far into the north that we're like, we need something, you know. It's just a goddamn disappearing act here.
What's gonna happen after this guy.
So I don't know, like, because I don't have those ambitions anymore.
Why not?
Maybe because being raised in California.
Okay.
Yeah, 300 days of sunshine every goddamn year.
Yeah.
Like we have no natural predators. You know, like Australia is pretty sunny, but they got every kind of thing that's going to try to kill you there.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the most close thing we have to natural predators here is each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the dog-eat-dog kind of
environment.
way that LA is.
Yeah. But you know, the truth of the matter is we live in a very abundant. We live in an Mario.
Hey.
We live in an abundant universe, and it's the illusion of scarcity that pits people at each other's throat.
Yeah.
So that's why we get the freedom to be able to do things like this podcast or whatever, and pursue these dilettante kind of, passions.
Yes, very fancy passions.
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy about what I just did. I do.
Well, if you didn't have a green screen, which is pretty fancy, you couldn't be doing your ghost act.
Right. So you're walking back and forth like a schmuck.
Oh, damn. Oh, no.
This is true.
Yeah.
But I would look good doing it.
Right?
Well, that's also upsetting though. This guy, for years, since high school, he has a sense of style that it bothers me because he can like put anything on and it looks
good.
Yeah. And then I put it on, it's like, oh, okay.
It's also, I feel like there's a little bit of acting that goes along with it. Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, people can pull off, like, you know, if I just put this on and just didn't like do anything, but if I just do a little bit of something, just tilt my head just a little bit, it's like, wait a second. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Just like The Rock, man, when he raises his eyebrow. Yeah. Same idea. Like from the movie, Be Cool. That was his entire thing. One eyebrow raised. That was it.
Oh,
yeah.
It never occurred to me that's the mystique behind
to sell it.
Here.
Yeah, you got to sell it just a little bit. Just a little.
Just a wee bit.
So me doing this?
So what?
How does this look?
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Does this make me look fat? I mean, tell me the truth, guys. Does it make me look fat?
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start observing you more closely. That sounded weird. I'd
also say like that a little bit of the fashion thing is being like, I'm at home in this. You know, like just deciding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm sexy and I know it.
I mean,
that's from the song.
I do, but I agree. You are.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Well, I think we should get to a wrapping up point here. We've gone for at least an hour by now.
At least?
Yeah. It's hard to tell what time it is because
it's endless night here.
Yeah, we can't even tell. I mean, I think it's past midnight now.
It's
11:30.
Approaching?
Yeah.
All
right.
11:40.
All right.
Exactly.
Speaking of the people behind the scenes, we have Faneda and Giuseppe over here helping us with
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
It does my heart good when I hear them laugh.
Yeah, right?
Like,
it's always great to hear laughter from just the background.
The crew.
Somebody agrees with me. Yeah. So you atheist evangelist.
Atheist televangelist.
God damn it.
ATV.
I was
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, all-terrain vehicle, baby. Take your brain where you want it to go. I don't know what.
So that's at 9 p.m. on the 2nd and 4th Friday of the month.
Preceding you guys.
Right before us.
Yeah.
Great lead-in.
Also, I mean, find me on Facebook, L Hump. That's all my social media is L Hump, ELHUMP. That's cool, right? The Hump, ELHUMP. Because the Hump was taken, I was like, I grew up in California. I can get away with it now. Yeah. Instagram, Twitter. I don't tweet twat anymore. Yeah.
What is this about?
Yeah.
I try, but it's just so damn, it's hard to stay on top of that stuff.
Yeah, and I also, if anybody adds me on Facebook, I automatically say yes. So, and you know how crazy I am on the Facebook.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
you go through spurts.
Yes.
Where you'll have like 5 posts in a row, and then maybe nothing for a day, and then all of a sudden,
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah.
I just like, and then I'm like, I gotta sleep. I mean, truthfully, I should have something managing that, but I'm like, I'm gonna do something crazy for a few hours, and then
it's good.
If anything's gonna happen, it's gonna be under my watch.
Of course, now I'm gonna have the visual of when I see posts in a row.
Yeah, you'll be like
the last post. That's when he finished.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
So, so you just finished, no more posts? All right.
Sleepy time. I got my creative junk funk jizz out there. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for running, Sean.
Thank you. I mean, this was. You guys are so delightful. It's such great hosts, and it's like I said, when you guys come in and I'm in the middle of some thing on stage, I'm like, oh, I guess I can wrap up now.
It is extra fun when I'm bringing a new intern on board for the first time. Like, so this is the studio space, and you have that dog mask on, and you're just yelling with fire behind you.
Oh yeah,
just floating head. So this is the studio.
Yeah, no, I love it when it's somebody's first show that they're interning. I'm like, oh, you're in for it now.
So much fun to see that.
Yeah, I made her play with the puppy when I had the puppy here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the puppy got a little interesting last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I licked the inside of my mouth. But guys,
4 minutes straight.
Yeah, I'm alive. Obviously, it's not that bad. I mean, what are you worried about? You're gonna die anyways.
There's a puppy alive though.
He's in Philly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You survived, puppy.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Whose mouth is dirtier, your pup? Come on.
No, but it is interesting to see your show every time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Seeing what it is you're getting into this week, because it's never the same.
No.
But yeah, good times.
Total unique territory.
Everything coming from right here.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, Dropbox.com, 9 p.m. Fridays, right before us. All of the shows we talked about, Busted is also on. It's the alternate Fridays.
Alternate Fridays, yep.
And a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
So check that out. Thanks for watching. Oh, go to our website, ratpackpodcast.com. Ratpack.productions, Instagram, Twitters, whichever camera's looking at me.
I believe
Rat
it's
Pack Podcast.
that one.
Yeah. All right, Rat Pack Podcast on the Twitter and the Instagrams. Rat Pack Productions for the Facebook and YouTubes, because we have consistency issues. But yeah, check all that stuff out. Like us, do the things like Sean. Follow him on the all the Twitters and Instagrams as well. Until next time, I'm Adam.
And we are the rest of the people.
Yes. Thanks,
Salute.
guys.
Chin chin.
Cheers.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, sir.
You're welcome.
That was super fun.
I think I have a problem.
That was so damn fun, guys.
Good, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it was. We didn't even talk about your background, where you came from at all. Just,
Nope.
We just got into it and just started going from there.
It's funny because I mean whatever. I mean I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look forward to having you on for that reason.
Yeah. That was super fun.